Do you work with them? Who are you?
I do
care in the
relations.
community.
Who?
PR
For the declared tastes like it was strained through somebody's rectum is now kind of growing on me.
Which one are you drinking? Are you drinking the regular one or the one with pineapple?
I drank the pineapple one first, but that sucks just as much as the next one. So I'm back to regular. I'm going to the OG. Dom, how are you, buddy?
I'm hanging in there. I'm doing good. 5 hours at the hospital last night.
No baby yet?
No baby yet. We're still on literally minute by minute baby watch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is Pumpkins at the hospital?
No, we went to the doctor's office today. They sent her home to rest.
Do you think the baby's like, he won't shut up? I don't want to come out. All he does is talk.
It's got to be. It has to be. But it's scheduled C-section for next week. I don't know if he's going to make it 9 days.
Can we cover it for Cowhead TV?
In fact, I brought that up to the doctor today. I said, listen, do you mind if it's live on air?
If it happens, it happens.
And he is pretty cool about it. He says, yeah, he actually had one lady had a video camera. Her husband was in the Army, Marines or something, and overseas, and she videotaped her own birth. He says,
wow.
I mean, talk about that. Pain, everything. She's got the camera. All right, go this way, Doc. Go this way, and then simultaneously pushing.
See,
This is a true story.
That must be up to the doctor because when my son was born, the mean lady doctor would not let me take a picture or video anything in the room. And although she delivered a beautiful baby and my wife was healthy, I can't be mad, but she was very mean to me. And then this time, the new doctor, all business doctor, he did a great job. And he was like, I don't care. Do whatever you want.
It's absolutely the doctor, case by case. Yeah, absolutely.
I think, in my mind, especially when it's a C-section, that the doctor who doesn't let you video is a doctor who doesn't believe in their own ability to do a proper C-section.
Doesn't want any mistakes.
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
Don't want any evidence.
Hey, a lawyer wants to videotape it.
Pass. Yeah, that I guess that's always red flags. I tell you, the lawyers are a pain in the ass, aren't they? I mean, just a pain.
Plus, I thought mine hated men, and I thought that she thought that I would sell it to Girls Gone Wild or something.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you, right? It's a hot seller.
No video for you. I hate men and I hate you. Like, that's how I felt.
Baby being born.
Stood up and she said, "Sit down." She did. She yelled at me.
You're onto something. You should do a whole video. Girls Gone Wild 9 months later.
Oh God.
Dom, if your wife wants to be the first one, I'll get a camera crew over there today, and we will do this. If you got a question for our attorney, Dominic Fariello, you can always call the office, 813-251-5550, or you can go to askthedom.com, which Dom was nice enough to come in here, as he does every week, to take your calls. Let's get right to them. Let's start with Susie. Hi, Susie. You're on the Cowhead Show. You're on with Ask the Dom. What's up, Susie?
Hi. I'm calling my son. Actually, he was at your party Friday night.
He was. We were at
contest?
the Penthouse Club, okay?
You know Alex? Remember Alex?
Which one was Alex? The failure that
He
couldn't...
was hanging around with Xbox. He couldn't spit it out his eye.
The failure that couldn't spill the milk
Yeah.
between his eye. Yeah,
Yeah.
Your son basically is the guy who snorted milk up his nose. That was his talent.
Basically.
Yes.
Anyway, he had a problem after he left, and he didn't want to go on the air and ask anything. So he was asking if I could get a number that he could get a hold of Dom.
Did his problems, can I use the initials D, U, and I with his problems?
Yes, you can.
He was wasted. I had no idea that he drove, but yeah, you definitely need an attorney.
He didn't want to. He asked for a cab.
Ask who?
The manager.
And what happened?
They gave him his keys instead.
Well, they probably gave him his keys because valet doesn't stay open forever, and they're like, "Here's your keys.
Did
now we'll
they force
get you a
him in his
cab."
car?
Yeah.
Did he put a brick on his gas pedal?
No.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. You definitely need to have an attorney. I can give you Dom's office number, and he should call over there because you don't want to go into that. Did he blow?
No, he ended up in the hospital. He had a concussion.
Oh, he got in an accident?
Yeah.
What did he hit?
The median on the causeway, the concrete barricade.
Oh, you're lucky they didn't crane him out of the water, lady.
I know.
Okay. Dom, what is the next step? I mean, obviously they should call your office.
Well, whenever
He hasn't talked to his insurance company yet.
okay, and that's
He's been putting them off.
that's fine. I mean, given the circumstances, you want to be very careful making statements to anybody until you speak with a lawyer. You've got 10 days. You have 10 days, to contact a lawyer or to follow the instructions on the back of the DUI ticket or the citation. The law changed in July 1st. with relation to administrative regulations at the DMV.
Right.
And what happens is when you get a DUI, remember, it's two things simultaneously. It's a defense for the misdemeanor charge of a DUI, and then it's also you can have an administrative formal review hearing at the DMV to challenge the driver's license suspension. So it's
Okay.
two separate issues. If you don't do something in the first 10 days, you can waive a right administratively. And then if you don't file something in the first 10 days, you can get a warrant out for your arrest because you didn't register with the court.
Gotcha.
Then they
Yeah.
changed it. Now you can opt to either have a formal review hearing or you can bypass that at the administration level and eliminate a hard suspension of either 30 or 90 days if you refuse to blow or if you did blow, and then go right into having a hardship hearing. And that's a lot to explain in a very short segment, but the point to the
But it
listeners,
should explain why you need an attorney.
but it's relatively new. Literally, we're only about, the 6-8 weeks into this now because it changed July 1st. And I can always explain more when the folks call.
Can he use a defense? I had milk in my eyes. Would that work?
You know something? Why not? I think that at this point, I'm happy that he's okay. At least it sounds like he's physically all right. I
Right.
guess.
But this is clearly God punishing him for failing us on stage with his eyes.
Did he swerve to miss what he thought was a milk truck coming out of the
I don't
causeway?
know. I think it was wet out that night.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you got a pen, I will give you the number, and you should definitely call the number. It's 813-251 5550. Call and let him know that we talked on the air, and Dom will give you a call back, and hopefully we can help your son out.
I hope so, because he's a wreck.
Yeah, well, I hope he feels better. He was a nice kid.
He said it was fun.
It was fun, all up until the milk came pouring out of his nose. All right, Susie, thank you.
Thank you for calling, Susie.
He was a good kid. I wasn't there when he left, so I don't know what condition he left in, but he could not get the milk to go from the nose cavity into the eye. He claimed he had only done it with water, and this wasn't actually milk. It was half and half, and he said it was too thick to squeeze out the eye.
I don't know.
Now,
That old excuse.
who won the event? What was
The girl who chugged the beer through the funnel, which I know what you're thinking, Dom. I did that all through college. Not a big deal. But she poured the beer into the funnel, put the funnel to her lips, and the second that the funnel touched her lips, the beer was gone.
Yeah.
It was like she had stopped time, emptied it, and gone back.
I'm going to tell you something. I was when I was in college. I was an ATO. You guys know this.
Yes.
Bert's one of my fraternity brothers. There was a young lady who was a Pi-Phi, and I was her agent because we would go to bars and we would challenge any guys to out-chug her, and her name was Trish. And she did not have a gag reflex.
That's
Yes.
what
And
this
that
girl's
was,
deal is.
That was the key.
Awesome.
And literally,
Did she ever?
it was she never lost.
No. You don't, did she ever exercise her non-gagging reflex?
Yeah.
On one asked Dom at any other time?
Did you ever
No, I-
funnel the Dom?
She gave you the old pie
Yeah.
fi?
First of all, this is before I was an attorney.
Right.
I was just a
Why,
agent.
attorneys can't get oral?
I was just an agent. I hope Pumpkins
yes.
is taking a nap right now. That was great.
She just had her baby.
I was just an agent in college, as a
Counselor,
fraternity counselor.
do you have firsthand knowledge of the fact that she did not have a gag reflex outside of chugging beer? I need a yes or a no.
It depends on what your definition of is.
Easy claim.
Objection.
Yeah.
Answer the question. All right, listen to me.
She was a lovely girl.
Dominic Fariello is our attorney. He is here. He will be taking your phone calls, red light cameras, civil rights, guys who had problems at an oil change. Oh, I'm dying to hear this. I wonder if it was Jiffy Lube, those criminals. Also, I would love to get a follow-up from the lady with the window guy. Remember that whole deal?
Yeah.
He hit the car. I don't know how that. It must have worked out because she hasn't called us. Yeah, Francisco.
Yeah.
We'll be back with more with Ask the Dom. Got a couple lines open: 727-579-1025 or 1-800-771-1025. We'll talk to Dom and take your. Welcome back to the Cowhead Show. 727-579-1025 or 1-800-771-1025. Phone lines are completely full right now. Dominic Fariello is here. He is our attorney. He comes in once a week to help you guys out. Legal advice, questions that you might have. Your son who spits milk through his eyes got in an accident. We can help you out. I'm going to go right to this one because I think there might be some good behind this. Tim, you're on the Cowhead Show. You're on Ask the Dom. What do you got, Tim?
Yeah, hi. I drive for a living, and I live in one county, and I had my oil change at a big box retailer.
Like which one? Like Jiffy Lube?
It starts with a W and ends with the T, big grocery department.
Oh, okay. Walmart, yeah. I don't know why people are afraid to say.
Yeah.
Code it up.
Yeah, like I don't blame you, sir, because everybody does. I don't know what they're afraid of. Like if you hear me talking about somebody that I love, if I'm like, hey, Bob's Rib Shack is the best rib shack ever, and you don't want to call up and say anything bad about Bob's. But other than that, everybody else is fair game. Go ahead, sir. What do you got?
All right. Well, I had my oil changed, and I drove back and forth. I put about 150 miles on the car, and I blew my engine. I had it towed back to the house. I checked the oil. There was no oil in it. I called Walmart, made a claim. They told me to tow it up to an independent place, and they said there was no oil in it, but they denied my claim. So it cost about $5,000 to fix. And I checked with a couple of lawyers, and that's basically, small claims court.
Yes, sir.
So nobody really wanted to touch it. However, I don't really know who to sue in small claims court, and since it's in another county, it's like 50 miles from my house.
Good question. Good question. He's going against a giant, Dom, Walmart. And this is something we all fear. I am a guy, I'm a man's man on some things, but I'm a man's woman when it comes to things like that. And I just made clip of the day again. When it comes to doing oil changes and building stuff, I don't know nothing. So if I go there and Walmart or any other Jiffy Lube tells me, yep, just put 5 cans of new oil in, you should be good to go. Whether they did or didn't, I don't know. So what does he do?
Well, a couple of issues he has. First, to answer his question, who does you sue? You have to contact the state of Florida Department of Corporations to see how Walmart is a registered entity, not only in the state but in the county.
Okay.
So, for example, when we have a claim against a large company, it may not just be Walmart. It might be Walmart, LLC, subsidiary of Sam's Club, Marketing Inc. There might be literally several blocks in the complaint form.
Especially if the automotive operates as a separate entity to the regular store.
Correct. So the first answer to his question is he can contact the state of Florida, Department of Corporations, to determine how is that entity registered in the state. That would be the legal entity you would sue. If you just put Walmart and you try to affect service of process and it's the wrong entity, you're
going to get bounced around forever.
Correct, and you're going to run into problems.
Yeah, and going 50 miles back and forth just for a little.
Well, with the internet, you could probably do a lot of that stuff online or on the phone.
But it all depends on the county.
And then if he wants to sue, you can get a lawyer for small claims.
You can, and the problem I think that the caller is going to have is it now going to cost more for an attorney than the actual value of his claim? And this is what I tell a lot of people when they call me or when we are on the show. And sometimes it sucks to say this to people, but it may cost you $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 just in attorney's fees.
Holy crap.
Because if you think about it, if you're going to have a company that's going to deny a claim, well, you're just not going to roll over. I mean, they can literally go through the motions of discovery and doing this, not so much in small claims, but the theory is the attorneys really can put a lot of time, energy, and effort into it. So now, wait a second. You're going to spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to get $5,000. You end up going to be in the hole or up $1,000.
Can't
for what?
you include that as part of your damages?
Not all of the time, and there's no guarantee you're going to win.
Well,
so now you got a balancing test. All right, assuming that you lose, the attorney gets the money because it's an upfront fee. The attorney shouldn't guarantee something to you because we don't know what's going to happen. Now you don't know if you're going to win, but you certainly know you have to pay for the lawyer, and you've already paid to get the car fixed. Welcome to, small claims crap, in the United States, or Florida at least. And that is difficult to say, but it is reality, which is why sometimes I tell folks, let it go.
Okay, but I never say that. Here we go. Yeah, well, because here's the problem. I mean, if it was $100 or even $500, I would say, all right, take it, bite it, sir. You got to go pay it, and you got screwed, and don't ever go there again. Tell all your friends in radio shows that Walmart can't change oil. But you're not gonna hurt Walmart. What you need to do is go find yourself some homeless guys and make them up some professional signs that says, this Walmart does not replace your oil. This Walmart did not give me oil. And pay those homeless guys to be sign carriers out to go file for a permit if you have to protest, and leave them out there do it for a month. If you're going to spend a couple $100, you might as well spend it on an embarrassing Walmart. And at the same time, I would then press release News Channel 8 and all these other places that have an on your side kind of guy. And I would say, this is what I've done. I've hired these homeless people to go out there and let the other people know, warn them of the dangers of the fact that this Walmart is changing oil and not putting oil in, and it cost me $5,000. And a big, giant company, that one of the biggest companies in our country, won't give me my money back, but they would rather me have to pay for their mistake. And you will use those people to let everybody else know about it. Nobody's going to want that for more than, they're going to let you do it for 2-3 days. Then they're going to be like, he's really back a third day? Then they're going to start to get nervous. Then if it's going good, you hire 3 more homeless people, and you got yourself a nice little circle of hobos out there.
Well, it wouldn't be worth it going alone in small claims, though, because like the fee, it cost me like $500 to do it that way rather than, lawyer fees and stuff.
Absolutely. You can represent yourself. It is cheaper. Usually the judges are county court judges. They understand if you're a pro se plaintiff, which means you represent yourself. They'll help guide you sometimes. Yep. It really, again, it all depends on the judge. You just like doctors, and when we started the segment, you get certain doctors, you get certain judges that'll just look at you and say, well, you should know what you're doing, or they'll look at you and say, well, let me help you out.
Could I represent this guy?
Hey,
if he wanted to represent himself, but I was going to do the representing.
I'm gonna answer that 2 ways. No legally, but yes in theory, because you know a lot of law after 5 years of hanging with me.
And a Dominus Vibiscus to all of you, Your Honor. I have a... Hey, buddy, good luck. If you decide not to go to small claims, I would at least start calling the consumer TV place, shows that do those reports, and let them get out there. And because once they start knocking on a door with TV cameras, that's when everybody's like, oh, we'll give him his $5,000. This is a big mistake.
Well, to make him feel better, I had a client in small claims court regarding a very large furniture company. And it lasted for about 7 years, and I actually removed it from small claims to county court because it actually went over the 5,000 threshold, but didn't cross the 15. And it finally resolved itself, but it was an absolute nightmare over something simple like this. They denied when they delivered the furniture that they damaged the home, and it was a huge fight. I didn't realize what it was going to be like 6 years, ago.
Yeah.
And it finally resolved itself, but very similar to the caller here, except that was a large furniture retailer that we finally resolved.
Man, I got some other things I want to tell you to do, but I can't say it on the air. But hey, good luck to you, pal.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I would fight it out. I'd fight it in the small claims court.
It all depends on how much time. I mean, I think he said he's a trucker, and it's a different county. I mean, so he may not have the time or the money or the energy to deal with it. And I hate to say, let it go. I don't like saying that, but I don't like not being real.
Yeah.
When my wife and I were married, she drove a Volvo, and it was a Volvo lease. And the Volvo ran fine, but it had some problems, like the parts had to be replaced and stuff, like recall parts, but it ran like a good car. Well, then one day it starts white smoking from the hood, and we had problems with bringing it in, and everything's under warranty. It's a lease car, and they come back and they go, well, you didn't change the oil, so it got... I'm like, of course we changed the oil. In fact, I was so positive that we had changed the oil because my neighbor was Duke, the greatest neighbor ever since Ed Norton, worked part-time at a mechanic's garage, and he used to take the car and change the oil for us. And they were like, well, you got to show us receipts because we're not going to do anything. And I said, no problem. So I went back and got all the receipts, and I went there. And, Duke worked for a mom-and-pop garage that used to be on Hillsborough Avenue. And I went in there, and I said, there you go. There's 2 years' worth of receipts for oil changes, dated, what they did, how much you paid, the whole deal. And they go, oh, no. I go, oh, no, what? Well, these are handwritten copies, and they got to be on a computer. I go, oh, hold on a second. So you're telling me that because they don't have a computer there, I was like, yeah. Okay, we're going to talk about this on the air tomorrow, and we'll see how that goes. And then once you got on the radio, they started talking about it. The next day, they're like, oh, Mr. Calta, bring that car in here, and let's, yeah.
I'll never forget the time the lawyer called me, with the one caller, the lawyer called me, tell him to stop talking about it. Yeah. Paulie walked from the office.
And that only works when you use your powers for good.
Yeah.
If you would take advantage of it and you start yelling every day, nobody cares about it. But that was a simple way that they were trying to get out of. Harry, I gave you what you asked for, and now you have another excuse. And fortunately, I have an outlet that most people don't have. That's why I call up any news, Channel 8 or ABC Action News, anybody that takes action for you, and they'll help you out. Deanna, you got a DUI, Deanna? Hello, Deanna.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, this is Gina.
I'm sorry, Gina. Go ahead. You're on with Ask the Dom.
Hey, Dom, it's Gina.
Hi, Gina. Now you're live on air.
Awesome.
Okay. This is a former client of mine.
Oh, you know?
Yeah, I know
You
Gina.
can tell right by the voice.
I know her.
You know what that means? She's nuts. Go
Now,
ahead, Gina.
Gina, remember now, if you're talking about any cases in the past, you have an attorney-client privilege with me. So just
Yes. No. This is a new one, Dom.
And you have an attorney cowhead privilege with me. Go ahead.
Awesome. Okay, so my boyfriend, he got a DUI about 6 months ago, and it wasn't alcohol related. He prescribed Xanax, and he crashed my car, and he's going to trial on my birthday, which is the 28th. And about a month ago, he crashed my car again and got another DUI.
You need a new boyfriend.
Yeah.
I know, yeah, great boyfriend, right? He just can't control himself with his prescription pills.
Obviously.
And so my question is, what is he looking at, like, time-wise? Like, he has no prior, like, he has priors, but he never was convicted of most of them.
Your screening process for boyfriends is terrible.
Yeah. Well,
I know.
what county are these charges in?
One's in Pinellas and one's in Hillsborough.
Okay. Well, now is any of them been charged as a felony?
The one in Hillsborough was charged as a felony because it's his third, but he hasn't been convicted of the one in Hillsborough.
Correct. Okay. So what happens is in Hillsborough, at least, he's going to have what's called a felony score sheet. And on that is going to have a list of all of his priors and the current charges. And this is where they say once you leave high school, you never have to use math again.
Right.
Well, they're lying, especially in law. Because
I remember, I remember the scoring out.
The felony score sheets will put a score of what he totals with the current charges and his past charges.
Okay.
Then they add if there's a victim injury. Then they add for aggravation. They have all these segments. Then it spits out a number. The number is plugged into a formula, and then it spits out another number. And then that number is the number of months that you score out to in Florida State Prison.
By the way, that's just a bunch of people going in another room going, I don't know, 10
Yeah,
years,
right?
8 years,
And I'm sitting here, I'm trying to remember the formula. It's weird. It's like you times it by 0.26, and then you subtract 8. I can't remember. I don't know.
Yeah, Dominic
She
knows
doesn't
with my ex-boyfriend. I remember all the
2 X's
scoring out
ago.
and whatnot.
2 X's.
What is wrong with you that you can't find a good boyfriend?
Oh man, I have no idea. I'm attracted to all those bad boys.
What kind of drugs are you on?
I'm not on any drugs.
Good answer. Good answer.
Gina, I could tell the cowhead lie detector's going off. You did something.
No, sir, I'm high on life.
Yeah, you and Walter White
me
are
too.
friends, huh? All right.
Gina's a sweetheart.
I don't
I've known
even
her for a
know
while.
what you were really calling about. Your boyfriend screwed. Xanax, driving on a suspended DUI. He's done. He's going to jail. He's probably, in fact, start looking for a new boyfriend because he's going to have a lot of gay sex. He's going to be in there so long.
Yeah, he's going to have a new boyfriend, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know Fred's gay? Go ahead.
So Dom, so he would what would be the max?
Well, I don't know offhand because you got to take a look at the score sheet. I mean, the minimum mandatory is going to be outlined there, and depending on what he's charged, for example, if it's a third degree, you're looking at a maximum of 5 years Florida State prison. But I don't know if he's going to have any contributing factors, if there's going to be additional charges, and then plus I don't know really what the status is in Pinellas. But I think he's got an attorney. I don't know if it's a private attorney or public defender.
He's got a public defender.
Public defender, and he really just needs to communicate with those folks. Really, they're in the best position because they know the discovery and the evidence, and then he'll be assigned a public defender also in Hillsborough.
I wish I had enough money to get you.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
There's always prostitution, honey.
Yeah.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate
I know, right?
it.
Yeah,
I know. Some tells me she might have tried that one.
You guys. Bye, Gina.
Bye. There you go. I'm going to stretch this. I got a couple of. Let me talk real quick. Lauren, what do you know about the Walmart caller?
Hi, Cowhead. I just wanted to let that person know that Hillsborough County and Pinellas County have consumer protection agencies where that individual can file a complaint, and those agencies can mediate with Walmart on his behalf.
Oh, so then do you recommend that, Don, or no?
Yeah, that's separate than the Better Business Bureau. You can report. I'm not familiar with that process. Unfortunately, by the time people come to me, it's lawsuit time.
Yeah.
And But I've heard of that. Honestly, I do not know it personally to go through it. But what she's saying, I have heard of. I'm not familiar with it.
All right, thank you for the heads up.
Thank
Pumpkin.
you, Lauren.
All right, I got red light cameras. Look, I'm going to give you, Brian and Brad, I'm no lawyer, but I'm going to tell you what I've learned. If you've got the ticket, pay it within the first 30 days. You pay the fine, and there's no points assessed. Done. Then there's boat title or civil rights. And there's a guy named Woody that wants to talk about civil rights. And I fear that he's going to break out in Alice's restaurant. Let's just go to Justin. Justin, you're on with Ask the Dom. What do you got, Justin? Did you want Woody? Did you want to talk to Woody?
Yeah.
I'll go to Woody. Yeah, go ahead, Justin. Sorry.
Me and my father had went half on a boat, and he's having a little pissing match, and he has taken the boat and hid it from me, and I don't know what to do about it.
I can't find my boat. You don't have a GPS on that thing?
Yeah, I do, but it's just a GPS to find where I'm going in the water.
Gotcha.
I don't
Okay.
actually have a tracking device on it.
Gotcha. All right. So Dom, the guy, him and his father are half and half, and he took the boat.
Well,
what do you do?
You guys are co-owners of the boat. So he has a right to its possession. You have a right to its possession, but if he's hiding it from you, it's still in his possession. I mean, this is it's a mess. Is this something that you can't work out with your father?
Yeah, I've tried to, but it's just recently happened, so I'm hoping to give it some time and it'll cool down.
What's he mad at? What's he mad at, sir?
I have no idea. He's a drinker and he gets on his spurts and
here's what I'd recommend to help the caller out. I would suggest to him, and you can have a lawyer do it, is I think what you need to do is divest yourself of the relationship with this boat. And you need to have a lawyer send a letter to your dad saying, look, I would like you to buy me out of my percentage and half of the boat. And that would eliminate the problem in the issue. It would be one suggestion. Or you can have the lawyer send a letter saying, look, I have access and right to the boat. You're diminishing that.
You're hogging it up.
And and then of course he can seek to have an injunction or an estoppel or some type of court action, for that. But that is something that I think is again costly. It's litigious, and of course it's going to cause bad blood with your dad.
Yeah, because pretty much I talked to him and he pretty much was like, "Screw you, contact the lawyer or I'll see you in court."
Well, and unfortunately, it may change once you get a letter from it. Sometimes a letter from a lawyer changes people's attitude. Sometimes it doesn't.
No, his attitude, if he gets a letter from a lawyer, he's going to be even more pissed and burn the boat or something.
And now he's got a different issue, like arson. So those type of things come up.
Hey, Justin, you want me to call him?
No.
You sure? You sure? I'm pretty good at mediating.
Then he might burn the boat. So
listen to me. Next move is go to Walmart. Well, it sounds like you might have one already. Get a chainsaw and cut something of his in half and be like, now I'm going to take back half of everything of yours until I get my boat back.
Can we get the disclaimer,
Pretty
Galvin?
much I just got to find the
That's a
boat
good
and
idea.
I can get it back. So I got keys. The hard part is finding it. So.
Well, how many places does he have that he can hide a boat
That's true.
protected?
I live in Sarasota, and his side of the family is in Tampa, so it's probably somewhere in Tampa. So.
What's it look like? I'm going to go look
Yeah.
for it on the way home. All right, Justin.
Was it
good
white
luck.
motor on the back? We'll find it.
The name of the boat's
Burn
Orca.
Let me check with Woody real quick. Woody, go ahead. You're on with Ask the Don. What do you got, Woody? Hello, Woody.
Hello?
Yes, sir. You're on the air.
It's actually Lee, not Woody, but...
Hold on a second. How do we get Woody out of Lee is what I'd like to know.
It's your wonderful phone screener.
Carmen, that's not even close. Like, if his name was Lee and you put P, I would know, but this guy's name is Lee and you said Woody.
Right, because he told me Woody,
Okay.
and now he's going back and saying it's Lee.
I believe you, sir. Go ahead, Lee. You're on with Ask the Dom.
In 1987, I got arrested for 2 felonies. 7 years ago, I applied to have my civil rights restored, and they started a dog and pony show. They wanted to prove that my restitution was paid. There was never restitution ordered. I got a letter from the clerks of the court from Pasco and Hernando County stating there was no restitution order. And the state is saying that's not good enough. So I got a copy of the judge's sentencing order that stated there's no restitution. And they said they still need proof restitution's been paid. What do I do?
All right. Let me ask you this. If you had to have paid restitution, who would the restitution have been paid to?
In other words, what did you do?
Like, if you crashed the car into a
was-
city wall, you would have had
No, it
to
was-
pay back the city. That's an example.
No, we were having a party in our apartment. We left and went to the store and came back. A guy was broke in, was trying to steal a TV, and I pushed him down the stairs. So they arrested me for battery and arrested him for burglary, but there was no restitution. I mean, he wasn't hurt and bad enough to have restitution.
Okay.
But
So the restitution would have been paid to another individual who was also charged with a crime.
who's now dead. I also forwarded them a copy of his death certificate.
Well, I don't
That
know.
wasn't good enough.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, if that entity would have said, "Look, the guy doesn't owe me any money. Thank you very much," and you can get a letter, an affidavit from the folks, but he's dead. The only thing you really have is, hey, the judge, here's the order of the sentencing. I don't have to pay restitution. Restitution wasn't ordered. I think they're just joshing you around up there, is what it sounds like. No disrespect to the folks at Tallahassee.
A lawyer would get it done and cut all these.
I think that it may be lawyer time for him.
Yeah, good for you. Get a lawyer, sir. Call Dom's office, 813-251-5550, or you can always get him online at askthedom.com. So that guy came home, caught somebody trying to steal his TV, pushed him down the stairs, and then he got in trouble?
Yeah.
There seems to be more to that story.
That's why you kill him.
Yeah, limited facts there because of the time of the call.
He didn't say when the guy died. He
I
just
know,
said he was
right?
dead.
Yeah.
He might have died the next day. That might have been the other. He said 2 felonies.
Yep.
Or he was like, I have to pay restitution. I'm just going to kill this dude.
Well, and I didn't ask the caller. I mean, depending on the type of, was there adjudications? Is he convicted? Was there guilty? Depending on the circumstances surrounding that, I didn't get into that with him. But that might be a hidden issue, but they're saying it's another. I don't know.
Well, let me tell you, we got some pretty good stuff out today. If you didn't get through and you have a question for Dom, you can always call the office, or you can go to askthedom.com and you get the phone number and all the information there. And Dom will be back maybe or maybe not next week. Somebody from the Fariello office will be here, whether it be Paulie or Armando.
Send the baby.
Yeah.
If you have the
Because-
baby, just
Nice.
send the baby.
Oh, there'd be a lot of crying.
Good idea.
there.
Ask the
There
baby.
should be a Dominic Octavius Fariello II next time we see you.
That's right.
Well, good luck with
That's
that.
right.
And good luck to your wife.
Thank you very much, guys.
and
Thank
video the whole thing, and we will show it on Cowhead TV.
you. Wow, that'd be fun.
Awesome.
I hope my wife's on heavy drugs.
Sign the
and out of
waiver.
it, right?
Yeah.
Sign the waiver.
Take a quick break, and when we come back, let's do a little sporkle.
The Cowhead Show.